It is the weekend of Super Bowl 54. Thank goodness, thank goodness, thank goodness. It is Friday, and we are live from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. You are rocking and rolling on the hottest show in the streets. Best form of Crimson Tide football news, notes, and information. That being in my own words, the podcast with yours truly, your man, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. We have a great segment tonight, great topics prepared for you on tonight's show. But as always, we encourage you to drop that thumbs up on the show, drop that like on the show, and subscribe, because that tells us here at TDA got to continue pumping you out the best news, notes, information, and content on your Crimson Tide football program. It is because of you, the passionate, the energetic Crimson Tide fan, that the network here on YouTube, over 8,000, that's right, 8,000 subscribers strong. We'll start off by talking Tua Tagovailoa and him identifying his primary goal for the NFL Combine. From there, we sit down with my man, Justin Smith, the lead scouting and recruiting analyst for Touchdown Alabama Magazine, as he breaks down the 2020 recruiting class, National Signing Day coming up on February the 5th. From there, we dive into some trivia, Super Bowl trivia. One lucky Alabama fan will get a chance to win a free subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine. And also along with that, we'll dive into your Super Bowl predictions with the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the San Francisco 49ers. And last but not least, we have a free-for-all call-in segment. You want to talk, you have thoughts, questions, concerns about your Crimson Tide program. Even if you just want to bring a vent to me, you will have that chance to do that in the final segment. The number, 205-448-1358. Once again, that's 205-448-1358. The number to call in to be a part of the hottest show on the streets, 205-448-1358. But diving into Tua Tagovailoa, the former Crimson Tide quarterback, the legendary quarterback of whom rescued the program to a college football playoff national championship as a freshman in 2017, led the program to a Southeastern Conference title in 2018, a guy that finished runner-up to the Heisman Trophy and was a consensus All-American. That individual, Tua Tagovailoa, was has been in Miami, Florida this week for the Super Bowl. He's been making his rounds to the different ESPN and Fox media outlets. And while so many other guys will be preparing to wow scouts with the 40 time, the 3-cone drill, the shuttle runs, the bench press, all those things that take place in the NFL Scouting Combine, which is the week of February 23rd to March the 2nd, Tua has his mind on one thing, and he spoke about it. He wants to win all of the medical assignments. He wants to check all of the medical boxes to show teams, to show scouts, coaches, and what have you, that he can play. He's 100%. He's healthy. He can bend, maneuver, finesse on the right hip, and be able to throw the football accurately, with timing, with precision, to receivers down the field. So he will meet with the medical team during the week of the Combine. He will also take part in some interviews. Tua, a very polished speaker, somebody of whom I have no doubt in my mind he will ace the interviews. He will excel in those. He will do well in those. Just going back to something that national NFL insider in Rappaport and also Tua's agent Lee Steinberg said, Tua is expected to have a pro day somewhere by mid-April. Now that the exact date has not been unveiled or revealed, but sometime by mid-April, Tua is expected to have his own pro day. If he goes out there, performs well, shows the scouts that he can move on his right hip, then there's no doubt in my mind he will be in the top 5 in terms of the venue coming up in April from Paradise, Nevada. Now, for me, Tua, when you look at what he did in his career, 7,442 passing yards, 87 total touchdown passes and 96 total scores in his 3 seasons. I remember sort of, watching him as he made his speech to declare, or to make the move, I should say, the decision to declare for the NFL draft. He really battled and fought with that thing just due to the love, the appreciation he has for Coach Saban. And I remember his father, Tua Tagovailoa, who spoke with CBS 42 and WBRC Fox 6. And, Tua talked about how the biggest thing that weighed on his decision to whether go pro or pursue the NFL or come back for his senior season at Alabama was that relationship with Coach Saban. He had such a fear of, I don't want to let Coach down. I hate him hurt because I feel like I'm not able to give my all to my teammates. I'm not able to give my all to Coach Saban. And in the back of Tua's mind, he's thinking, well, if I come back and have a chance to fully rehab, fully get healthy, play my senior year, I can take this team from coast to coast to a national championship and win it as a starting quarterback. I can, win the Heisman Trophy. I can do all of those things that I was set out to do as a 5-star prospect when I came in from Hawaii in the 2017 class. And it kind of took Nick Saban to tell him, son, don't make an emotional decision. Make a business decision. What you do, whether it's you coming back for your senior year or whether it's you deciding to go pro, go to the NFL, make that move based on a business decision. Whatever decision you decide to make, it's not going to cause me to treat you any less. It's not going to diminish our relationship. You are still Tua in my eyes. You are still Tua in the eyes of your teammates. You are still Tua in the eyes of the fans. So while he was on that stage inside the Malmore facility, and it just felt like, he was in utter anguish and utter agony because he really loves, joys, respects the University of Alabama. Tide fans will always remember Tua for 2nd and 26, right? Coming off the bench, showing that poise against Georgia and firing 3 touchdowns, including the 41-yard rainbow in overtime to Devontae Smith, 2nd and 26, getting the 26-23 win. Fans will forever remember Tua for the toughness he played with, despite him being hurt, sustaining some injuries. He never allowed that to make him sit down. That Warriors mentality in him kept pushing him forward, kept pushing him to be on the field, kept him with having a desire to be the best. So Tide fans definitely looking forward to seeing what he will be able to do at the next level. But for me, got a question right here, and of course, I will answer this first. And for those of you out there that have a thought on this, you can definitely call 205-448-1358 after the next segment to give your thoughts here on the question. But question being, what would be the most desperate spot for Tua in the draft? What would be the most decent spot for Tua in the draft? And what would be the perfect spot, the ideal landing spot for Tua Tagovailoa? So for me, the most desperate spot would be, of course, the Miami Dolphins, just seeing how they need a quarterback tremendously. That's a team and a front office that has not had the big playability, the heavy passing attack, the talented arm at that spot since Dan Marino. So the Dolphins would be the most desperate spot, and on top of that, they would more so look for him to start right away, just seeing how a lot of the fans down there do not have much trust in Josh Rosen. And then you have Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's good, who can stabilize the ship, but not the talent that Tua is. So Miami would be the most desperate spot. The most decent spot for Tua, I would go with the Los Angeles Chargers, and that because it would put him back on the West Coast. The LA Chargers already have talent at wide receiver with Keenan Allen, with Mike Williams, and at tight end you have Hunter Henry. So there's some pieces already there for the Chargers. And with Phillip Rivers now moving his family from Los Angeles to Florida, he will be hitting that free agent market, and the Chargers will be in need for a quarterback. So LA would be the most decent move. As far as the perfect move, not a lot of people will agree with me on this, but the perfect move for Tua, come on down, the Indianapolis Colts. I would take that man to Indy. And the reason why, the Colts already have an established offensive line headlined by former Alabama center Ryan Kelly. You already have young talents at wide receiver with T.Y. Hilton. You have a young tight end who's very good in Eric Ebron. And the front office of Indy, one of the best in the business. Chris Ballard, one of the smartest GMs out there, will do everything possible to make sure that talent stays around Tua, that experience stays around Tua, and Tagovailoa will be able to grow with that talent. Also, he would play at Lucas Oil Stadium. I mean, you can't get any better than that. It's a dome environment. It's a conditioned environment. And for you, the fans, hey, Indy would only be, a 6 to 8 hour trip from the state of Alabama. So that would be on my end. The most desperate place, the Miami Dolphins. The most decent place, the LA Chargers. And the perfect place, the ideal setup, give me the Indianapolis Colts over there at Lucas Oil Stadium for Tua. But we're going to take a quick break here right now. Upon our return, we'll get a chance to talk to my man, Justin Smith, the lead scouting and recruiting analyst for Touchdown Alabama magazine for the 2020 class. Don't touch that dial, folks. We're coming back.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care. In support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today.